I find it rather interesting that so often I'm forced to go outside of my own industry to find the perfect tool or the perfect product. And here I am yet again. And today's anticlimactic lesson is about the best tire dressing applicator. Believe it or not, do not underestimate the importance of having just the perfect tool. And in this case, my tool is what I call the perfect tire dressing applicator. Now, I have used these for about 15 years, but then my supplier to these, which is an SM Arnold product previously, was not able to get them any longer. So I was forced to try the industry tools, which are these pieces of crap. Now this I cut in half, and it actually was bigger, and it was a concaved foam applicator. Has a more dense handle to it and a less dense applicator part to it. Makes sense. It's got a contour to it, and it seemed like it would be, at least in theory, the perfect applicator. But when it comes down to using these, personally, I just think they suck. Partly because this is too soft, partly because it does not hold water, because I prefer to use mine damp. I finally found what is officially referred to as a Turtleback, Grout, and Tile sponge. Now, one of my viewers wrote in and told me, or provided me with a link in which to find these, and that was months and months ago, and I lost the link, and so I had to do my own little research, and lo and behold, I found the Craft Tool Turtleback Grout Sponge. This, to me, is the winning combination. Now, this is actually a 2-for-1 deal because it comes like this, and I cut it in half. It comes in a package just like this. You can find this on a link at my website. If you look in the Show More box directly beneath this video, you will find a link that will take you to my website. On there will be an Amazon link, and you can get your very own perfect tire dressing applicator sponge. Why do I like this? Because to me it is the perfect density. When you cut it in half, it also has this nice sharp little edge, which is ideal for getting right in between the wheel lip and the tire. Often, especially on performance tires and wheels, there'll be this little 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch gap or lip that you just can't get without this sharp little edge. So it's ideal for that. Also, because of the density of this, which I think is the perfect density. Also, because of the type of material, which I think they might call it a cellulose sponge. Now, the reason that is important, because I use these damp. I get them wet with regular tap water, and I wring them out as tight as you possibly can. I do not want any excess water in them. Then, and you can tell this has already been used, I have christened it, so it's damp. And I simply, and here's another little sidebar. I'm using the VRP dressing from Chemical Guys. Now, I'm still a fan of the Hyper dressing from Meguiar's, but one of the trade-offs is the Meguiar's Hyper dressing only comes in a gallon size because it's for professionals. And as a rule, professionals will go through more product than, let's say, the driveway detailer. Now, when I ran out of my gallon of hyper dressing, I decided to venture out and try another water-based dressing, and that's where I came upon the VRP from Chemical Guys. VRP coincidentally stands for vinyl rubber plastic. It's what you might call an all-purpose dressing, both suitable for the interior, exterior use. Now, as a direct comparison between the hyper dressing versus the VRP, they're so close that it's going to be the subtle nuances that's going to be the difference for you and your world. I think the main difference will be how much you actually want to buy. So if you're a driveway detailer, you probably don't want to buy a whole gallon. If you're a professional detailer or getting into the world of professional detailer, and you need to shop economy, which means you need more for less, and you know you will eventually go through it, then maybe a gallon size would be more appropriate for you. But that's where you have to decide. But as far as the actual user experience or the performance between the two, I think they're so closely matched, it's just a non-issue. So for the time being, I am using VRP dressing from Chemical Guys. It is a much thicker consistency than the Hyper dressing from Meguiar's. So I have decided to use it in this dispenser, which is traditionally a wax or polish dispenser. It's got this self-cleaning pop-up lid, and you also can find that on the same page of my tire cleaners and dressings page. So this is damp. I simply put a little bit on there. You can see how thick it is. That is very thick, and it's as simple as going around the tire. And I like it. I like the damp sponge because it just allows the dressing to flow a little bit better than a normal sponge or a sponge that is dry, because it makes it more pliable. It's not all rigid like a brand new sponge, which is very stiff and tight. Now, if you wanted to go to the cheap ass version, you can literally get this sponge at like a 99-cent store or a Walmart or whatever. You can cut it in half, so it's a little more user friendly according to the size of your hand. But so this is how I would rate them. To me, this just sucks. You even have this little fancy tire applicator sponge by Curand that has a plastic firm grip handle to it, but it's still got this lame ass spongy part that to me just suck. Okay, so these suck. This is acceptable in the cheap ass way. This to me is the perfect balance, the winning combination of cost, ergonomically friendly to your hand, can be used damp, unlike these that when you get these wet, they don't really hold water. They don't really stay damp. There really is a difference. And trust me, the right tool really, because you've got two things about tools. You've got and it goes with products as well, you have the one category, which is performance. How do they literally perform? What end result will they be capable of delivering? That's the performance. The second most important thing is the user-friendly experience, or sometimes the user not very friendly experience. So you as the user, what is the experience in using this? So that's the added factor. So you can have something that performs amazing results, but it's so miserable and difficult to use. And yes, I'm being over dramatic because we're talking about a simple tire sponge. I get it. But trust me, that is where that winning balance comes. And if you can find that perfect tool, which is what I'm calling this, it really makes your life easier. Because let's be honest, detailing is hard work. Why make it more difficult for yourself? So go to my page, check the link underneath the show more, in the show more box. Get one for yourself and test it. I can promise you, you will not be disappointed. Just remember, when you get it, you simply cut it in half. 2-for-1 deal. Get it wet each time. Wring it out as tightly as possible. If you don't have a strong grip, wrap a microfiber cloth around it, and that will help saturate any excess water. Then you apply your dressing. Now you've got a very pliable, usable tire sponge, tire applicator sponge for tire dressings. It's both friendly on the hand, and it's got this sharp little edge for getting right there in that tiny little crevasse between the wheel and the tire. So there you go, kids. Check it out.